controlled, or there is more than three or more exacerbation per year, then we have to start with low dose ICS therapy. For patient who is confirmed is having asthma and asthma not well controlled on low dose ICS, then we should double the dose of ICS. And for children with asthma not well controlled on double dose ICS, we should continue controller and refer the patient to the specialist or PA. In all that steps, the reliever therapy for children is the short-acting beta-2 agonist, which was earlier in the adult. The reliever therapy preferred was low-dose ICS formoterol, that is MART therapy. Now coming to the GINA guidance about COVID-19 and asthma. There are some questions related to the COVID-19 and asthma. Are people with asthma at increased risk of COVID-19 or severe COVID-19? No, people with asthma do not appear to be at increased risk of acquiring COVID-19 infection. Another question is that, are people with asthma at increased risk of COVID-19 related death? No. If the patient with asthma is well controlled with the medication, he or she is not at increased risk of mortality. But for patient who has recently taken oral corticosteroid or having history of recent hospital admission, he or she is having at increased risk of mortality. What are the implications for asthma management? Now, it is important to continue good asthma management as per guideline for patient who is having asthma and suffering from COVID-19. Have there been more asthma exacerbation during the pandemic? No. In 2020, many countries saw a reduction in asthma exacerbation and influenza-related illness. The reason being use of frequent hand washing, masks, and social and physical distancing that reduces the incidence of other respiratory illness along with influenza. COVID-19 and asthma medications. Advise patients to continue taking their prescribed asthma medications, particularly inhaled corticosteroid. Are ICS protective in COVID-19? In one study of hospitalized patients aged more than 50 years with COVID-19, ICS use in those asthma was associated with lower mortality in patients without an underlying respiratory condition. Make sure that all patients have a written asthma action plan and advising them to increase controller therapy and use reliever therapy as and when necessary. And advise them to take a short course oral corticosteroid to prevent severe asthma exacerbation. Nebulization should be avoided to reduce the risk of spreading virus. COVID-19 and asthma infection control. We should avoid spirometric tests unless it is very essential. And GINA recommends to follow aerosol, droplet and contact precautions if spirometry is needed. Consider asking patient to monitor peak respiratory flow at home if information about lung function is merely needed. And to follow strict infection control procedure if aerosol generating procedure are needed, especially nebulization, oxygen therapy, sputum induction, manual ventilation, NIV, etc. Coming to the COVID-19 vaccines and asthma. Have COVID-19 vaccines been studied in people with asthma? Yes. Many types of COVID-19 vaccines have been studied and are being used worldwide. Are COVID-19 vaccines safe in people with allergies? In general, there is no such allergic reaction or very much allergic reaction to COVID-19 vaccines. If a patient who is having allergies to any ingredient of the COVID-19 vaccine, he or she should be advised to not to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Especially the vaccines prepared by the Pfizer, BioNTech and Moderna COVID-19 vaccine should be administered in a setting which is having facilities to deal with anaphylactic reaction. Usual vaccine precautions the GINA recommends is that patients should be asked if there is any allergy to any component of the vaccine. If the patient has a fever or another infection, vaccination should be delayed. until they are well. At present, based on the risk and benefit and with above caution, GINA recommends COVID-19 vaccinations for people with asthma. COVID-19 vaccinations and biologic therapy. Biologic therapy for asthma and COVID-19 vaccines will not be administered on the same days, so that adverse effects of either can be more easily distinguished. What we should do after COVID-19 vaccines? After COVID-19 vaccination, we should continue to wear masks in crowded settings. Influenza vaccination. People with asthma to have an annual influenza vaccination, and influenza vaccine and COVID-19 vaccines, there should be a gap of at least 14 days, and it is recommended by the CDC. Coming to the management of asthma exacerbation. Before coming to the management, what is asthma exacerbations? Exacerbation of asthma are episodes characterized by a progressive increase in symptoms of shortness of breath, cough, wheezing or chest tightness, and progressive decrease in lung function. They represent a change from the patient's usual status that is sufficient to require the change in the treatment. Exacerbations may occur in patients recently diagnosed or a patient with pre-existing asthma. It is characterized by decrease in peak expiratory flow or forced expiratory volume in first second compared with patient's previous lung function or predictive values. Now, coming to the management, we have to categorize the asthma exacerbations, whether it is mild or moderate, severe or life-threatening. If patient can talk in phrases and prefers sitting over lying, and there is increased respiratory rate but not more than 30 per minute, patient's accessory muscles are not working, pulse rate is between 100 and 200 beats per minute, saturation is between 90 to 95%, then we categorize the patient to mild to moderate. If patient can talk in words but not in phrases, sits hunchback forward, very much agitated, respiratory rate more than 30, accessory muscles are working, pulse rate more than 120 beats per minute and saturation less than 90%. Peak expiratory flow rate less than 50%, then we categorize the patient with severe exacerbation. And if the patient is drowsy, confused, or if there is silent change, then the patient is to be categorized as life-threatening exacerbation of life. In mild to moderate cases, we have to start with SAVR, 4 to 10 puffs with pMDI and spacers every 20 minutes up to 1 hour. Oral corticosteroid 40 to 50 mg per day or in treated 1 to 2 mg per kg body weight. Controlled oxygen therapy to maintain saturation 93 to 95% in adults and in between 94 to 96% in children. And thereafter we have to assess whether the symptoms of the patients is improving or not. If the symptoms improving, then we have to assess whether the patient is needed SAVR or not. Peak expiratory flow rate improved more than 60%, 60 to 80% for the personal best or predictive value. Saturation more than 94% at room air, and there is adequate resource at home of the patient, then we can discharge the patient. We can plan to discharge the patient. But in case of if the patient is not responding with that treatment and gradually worsening, then we have to shift the patient to acute care facility and reassess there. In between the shifting, by that time we should continue SAVR and oxygen therapy along with ipratropium. And we have to reassess another 1 hour. When the patient is suffering from life-threatening exacerbation, we have to shift the patient immediately to the acute care facility and ventilate the patient. I have discussed this already. These are the resources. Thank you. Thank you.
হ্যালো
ওখানে গিয়ে বলেন না।
you very much, Dr. Evan Hawk, for this informative speech on this bronchial asthma on post-COVID scenario. And if there be any questions, please come. Any questions, sir? Yes.
I want to ask about influenza vaccine because two types of vaccines are available, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So ideally what we say is, what we give is pre-monsoon or just nearby July to August or September is the time we give vaccine in children. But northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere total vaccines are available in the year. What is the most preferred vaccine? When we can give, in Indian scenario, what is the best time to give the vaccine? Whether it might be adult or children.
Actually, I don't know about northern or southern vaccination, but the ideal timing for the vaccination is in between September to October. Up to maximum November we can give it.
Yeah, but the thing that, what we do is we give in generally August. We call every children in August in between. But the vaccine which you get in August, that expiry is nearby October, November or till January. But what vaccine we are getting now at this moment after September, that expiry is till next year July. So two types of vaccine, northern and southern hemisphere.
What vaccine? Influenza vaccine?
Influenza vaccine. Because there is an expiry of 1 year.
I don't know about the variant of northern or southern.
No, the pattern is same, composition is same.
So
But
please
when
tell us,
the thing is that expiry of the vaccine, but when we are giving, I have a dilemma in this. Suppose we are giving vaccine in the month of September, what is available at that moment. But as per virus strain, that is expiry is suppose in October, November whatsoever. Then the patient what we are giving vaccine at the moment of August, effectiveness of vaccine will stay till only August, September till 1 year, that vaccination. I have a dilemma in that.
actually, in case of influenza, there is two types of shift, and that shift usually lasts for 1 hour, 1 year.
1 year.
That's why there is the logic being re-implemented of the vaccine, and the vaccination changes every 1 year. So it is 1 year.
Okay, the thing is that now what we vaccine what we are getting is right now is southern hemisphere vaccine.
Maybe I don't know it.
At this moment, NH and SH. In whatever vaccine we are getting, we just see the fact there is NH and SH reader. NH in northern hemisphere, SH in southern hemisphere. Two types.
Thank you.
And in adult, according to the influenza vaccination guideline?
Influenza vaccination should be given annually. Before giving influenza vaccination, we have to give pneumococcal vaccine. It is of T-type, Prevnar vaccination and Pneumovac 23. First of all, we have to give Prevnar. After 6 months or 1 year, we have to give Pneumovac 23. And thereafter, every 5 years, Pneumovac 23 is to be given, and influenza vaccination is to be given every year, annually.
There is the Influvac Tetra. Influvac Tetra. Influvac Tetra.
Influvac तो brand name, influenza vaccine आरो brand name पाए.
How long we have to continue this ICS and LABA in the stable patient of bronchial asthma above the age of 12 years?
Now we have to taper after 3 months. If the patient is having full control and there is no signs and symptoms of asthma, we have to down titrate the from high dose to medium dose, from medium dose